I'm 28 years old, and for nearly 8 years, I was in a relationship with a man I genuinely believed I'd spend forever with. He's 30, steady, kind, and familiar in the way home feels after a long day. We moved in together 4 years ago, slowly weaving a life out of memories and rituals, holidays, shared friend groups, inside jokes, even pets that became family. From the outside, we looked solid, like the kind of couple people just assumed would eventually get married. It felt inevitable, but something shifted, slowly then all at once. I never meant for it to happen, but somehow, I ended up entangled with my boss. He's 45, married, with 2 children, and from the surface, he looks like a man who has everything sorted. But he spoke of a marriage that had long since withered, of separate bedrooms, silence, and distant affection. I wanted to believe him. Maybe I still do. It started with innocent messages, questions about work, deadlines, then little jokes and casual banter that slipped past office hours. He'd linger at my desk with no real reason, offer to stay late, always under the guise of work. But I knew. And the way my stomach twisted with excitement every time his name popped up made it harder to deny. The night it became more than just flirtation was after a company dinner. He asked if I wanted to grab a drink, and I said yes too quickly. That yes led to 100 more. Hotel rooms, secret getaways, lingering touches behind closed doors. It was reckless, addictive, and for a while, I convinced myself I could balance both lives. He made me feel seen in a way I hadn't felt in years. He looked at me like I mattered, like I was brilliant, special. I craved it, craved him. At work, people joked that I was his office wife. I laughed along, but inside it made me feel desired, chosen. Meanwhile, my boyfriend and I became more like polite roommates. We coexisted, meals, TV, sleep, without real intimacy. I still loved him, or maybe I loved the version of us that no longer existed. It took another man's attention for me to fully see how far we'd drifted. The physical side of the affair was explosive, almost cinematic in its intensity. He seemed to know exactly what I needed without asking, and I became someone else in those moments, bold, wild, wanted. We skipped events just to be together in those stolen hours. Once, I even lied to my boyfriend about a work trip, so I could spend a weekend away with my boss. He was upset, but I reassured him with practiced ease. But lies have a shelf life. Lately my boyfriend grew suspicious. He started asking questions, watching me more closely. The pressure began to build like a wall closing in. I was exhausted, torn between 2 lives, unable to fully breathe in either. Part of me imagined a new life with my boss. I pictured us escaping the mess, starting fresh. But reality always crept in. He was still married, still treading water in a life he said he no longer wanted, but never quite left. Then 2 nights ago it all crumbled. I was out for dinner with girlfriends, no affair, no lies, just a night out. But when I checked my phone, there were missed calls and panicked messages from my best friend. My boyfriend had shown up at her place, dropped off my things in garbage bags and a suitcase, and driven away. He didn't knock, didn't wait, just left. She watched him from the window, helpless. When I got there, my belongings were sitting like discarded debris on her porch. I rushed to our apartment, but the locks were changed. No message, no fight, just silence. I stood there in the cold, clutching a bag, feeling like I'd been erased. I'm staying with my best friend now, on her old couch in a cramped second bedroom that doubles as an office. It's uncomfortable, temporary, and every night I lie awake feeling the full weight of what I've done. He must have found something. He had. The next day, I got one message from him. Just one sentence. There's nothing left to fix. Somehow, he had gotten into my laptop. I'd used the same password for everything, lazy, careless. There, tucked away in a hidden album, was a photo I thought I'd deleted long ago. Me, in a hotel bed, barely dressed, my boss curled behind me, smiling like we had nothing to lose. I never even realized it had been backed up. It was like handing him the knife myself. I texted him, called, begged to meet to explain. Nothing. He blocked me everywhere. Cut me out like I never existed. Mutual friends were told not to get involved. And just like that, 8 years of a life unraveled. It wasn't just a breakup. It was a vanishing. Now I miss him in ways I can't even say out loud. Not just the love, but the small, ridiculous things. The coffee he'd make me on Sundays, his awful car karaoke. The way he always knew when something was wrong without me saying a word. The grief feels like something physical has been torn out of me. I met with my boss last night. I told him everything. He was kind, said I didn't deserve to be treated that way. He even offered me a place to stay. But when I brought up the future, our future, he went quiet. Said he didn't want to hurt his kids. That he needed more time. Always more time. I smiled and said I understood. I didn't push. I couldn't afford to. I've already lost everything else. And I know, if I press too hard he'll disappear too. I see the way other women at work look at him. I'm not irreplaceable. Just convenient. He's leaving for a conference in Miami next week and asked if I'd join him. I said yes, not even knowing why. Maybe I'm still chasing a fantasy. Maybe I'm too afraid to face the reality that I've burned every bridge behind me. Yesterday I toured a tiny studio apartment that smelled of mildew and had water stains on the ceiling. Still, I filled out the application. It's all I can afford now. I'll sell my car, downgrade everything, rebuild from scraps. It feels like being 21 again, broke and lost, and pretending I have it all figured out. A year ago, I had a partner, a home, a future. Now I have bags, regrets, and a man who still goes home to someone else. I made these choices. I convinced myself it would be worth it, that I could have something more. But now, looking around at what's left, I finally see it for what it is. It was never worth it. Not like this.